very warm welcome to you. Now it's all about finance-friendly family feasting on today's Afternoon Express Masterclass with me, Balisa Tembe. Cook-turned-culinary expert Pizzo is back in the kitchen, baby, to help us make spinach, chicken and bap dishes, chicken feet with butternut and 2 scrumptious desserts. All of this sounds incredible because we're focusing on budget-friendly meals, and if you would like the details to any of today's recipes, please do head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. But this evening, we're joined by ex-cop turned chef and restaurateur, Pizzo. From turning his bulletproof vest into an apron, he's here to tell us all about his culinary journey and how Pizzo's kitchen came to be. Welcome back to The Loft.
Thank you, yo. Thank you for the nice intro. Very nice.
I can't think of someone more deserving than Pizzo himself, because you've truly, you know when they say started from the bottom, now we're here.
Definitely, yeah.
That's you. I want to take it back, though, to the beginning of your cooking. I believe you moved to Durban. In fact, I think we've got this in common. Pizzo's journey in cooking started where my journey in cooking started, which is in Durban.
Yes.
And out of pure necessity, survival.
Yeah, I left school in my high school, and I went to study in Durban, and I stayed with some boys, and, you know, I'd like being from a family of females, I had to fend for myself, and I had to start cooking myself, you know, so it was a little bit difficult in the beginning, but I did try to cook with like tiniana or fish or those things like bumapap and rice, but I never really enjoyed cooking at the time until I became like a pro.
A pro. And that's the journey that I actually want to dive into, because I think your journey with cooking is quite similar to a lot of us, especially during the lockdown and the pandemic. A lot of people have needed to kind of wise up when it comes to cooking in the kitchen and being able to try different budget-friendly dishes. Then fast forward to Cape Town. A lot of people don't know this, mind you, South Africa. You actually were a cop, a detective for 10 years, and then you decided to move full on into being a chef and a restaurateur. Now, what made you make that jump, especially coming from Durban, where you were cooking for survival, honey, and then moving into the more, you know, actually, I can do this as a pro?
Yeah, I mean, you just said it very well. Like, yeah, there was a lack of food that I grew up eating in Cape Town, so I stopped investigating the criminals, and I started investigating the cuisine part of Cape Town. You know, like, felt like Cape Town was neglecting the African cuisine side, so I took it upon myself, and I took a leap of faith, and then I started Pizzo's Kitchen, like from the boot of the car, by the way.
I can see a very different shift, as you were saying. You know, before you were doing these budget-friendly meals, cooking for your survival with Amachita, with the boys, and now you're doing things on a whole different scale, feeding the nation, essentially. What made that jump in your head? What ignited the passion?
Look, the passion is like the food. The food is something I grew up eating. I mean, I've never mentioned this, but when I came to Cape Town, I continued with chilling with the boys every weekend. So my house became like some kind of a chill spot every weekend. So I was like, no, man, guys, I need to start feeding you, charging you for feeding you. So that's how the first idea came about, before I started going to sell in a boot of the car. But that was also because this cuisine was not recognized in Cape Town. And, you know, funny enough, I started seeing articles about, like, there's no African cuisine in Cape Town. I mean, people from Europe come to Cape Town, they still eat food from Europe. So for me, it was like, nah, there is a need here, you know, so I did it professionally from then, but from the boot of the car.
What was it about the food that you grew up enjoying that now gets mirrored on the plates that you make for anyone who visits your restaurant? You
know, that's funny. All my recipes are my mom's recipes at the restaurant. So everything that is there is something that I grew up eating myself. The paintings on the wall reminds me of the paintings that we have in the house as well. So, but however, the kind of food that I grew up eating, you could find it in every corner. So it's not like something that was like, it was not scarce, so the meals were each and every corner. So coming to Cape Town, and I don't have the freedom, and I was like, ish. Not to speak ill about other cuisines that are here, but I was starting to eat a lot of Gatsby's, fish and chips, you know the likes of Cape Town food.
One thing about about Cape Town food and they are so proud of their heritage. They're so proud of their culture. So when you do move to Cape Town, you kind of just, you know, like you become like a chameleon, and you just end up doing what they do. You do as the Romans do.
I gelled in as well, but I just missed my home.
Yeah.
You know, I was homesick.
And being homesick is what enabled you then to mirror those exact same recipes that Umama made onto your menu.
Yes.
I love, you know, every single time I go onto his Instagram page, if you were to see our DMs going back and forth, I'm always like, when are you cooking for me? He's like, when are you visiting?
Yeah.
But finally, you're on Afternoon Express, and I want to find out from you, if you were to give advice to restaurateurs or hopeful people, hopeful foodies, people that want to get into the culinary industry. Things haven't always been hot, and you weren't always as busy as you are now.
Yeah.
Now you're at the peak. What advice do you have for people coming up, whether it's the highs or the lows?
I mean, COVID taught us a lot of things, especially the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
So for me, I just said, stay in your lane. I mean, maybe we were so lucky because, I mean, our cuisine was strictly about serving the locals more than the tourists. So staying in our lane in that department meant we will still serve the people that we make the food for in the first place, you know. But, I mean, it's never been easy. It might look easy from the outside, but it's difficult because if you don't have the passion, you definitely quit. You know, like, I mean, in the cuisine that we do involves a lot of hard labor, like washing the tripe. It's not an easy thing. Like killing the chicken feet is not an easy step as well. But it's low budget, like you said.
Yeah, low budget, and that's what it's all about. And I'm so glad that you ended off on that point, Chauke, because I missed that, Chauke.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that is what we have you in the loft for. You're going to be giving us tips, tricks, advice on the best way to whip up easy, budget-friendly family meals, but the African way. So I'm definitely looking forward to all of that. Funny enough, I think we're ready for our very first recipe. Dumi, hit it, girl.
Wherever food is made with love, you'll find drama. Taste the love.
As you can see, I'm getting my hands ready. Come in, Pale, come in, Pizzo, because we want to start saving. We are about budget-friendly meals today, and that's why we've got this gentleman in the kitchen today, Pale.
I mean, essentially, Chef Pizzo, I don't even know why I've got pockets on my jeans, because we're not even going to go into the pockets too much, ne?
Never. I'm here.
I love it.
I'm here.
Now, when you're far from home and missing our loved ones, it's often the simplest of things that remind us of home. For Pizzo, just a spoonful of creamy spinach transports him back to his mom's kitchen.
Definitely.
And I can say the same about my mom's end-of-month all-in vegetable bakes. Even the simplest of meals are more than just food on a plate. They're memories made and shared. So today, we're celebrating those memories with a meal that will remind you of home and feeds a family of 6 for under 200 Rand. We're talking about morojo, chicken and pap. Boom, 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 Tumza.
Morojo, chicken and pap sounds decadent, Palesa. And I know the other thing is that not only does it sound delicious, it brings back memories. I can't imagine a time when we were cooking at home where I didn't have a meal that had that green popping color of the spinach. And then knowing, Guti, you could pair that with our chicken that we're using today, kapo sebedisa papa or chidombolo. It's completely up to you, but the memories. And when Pizzo was talking about the memories, he actually reminded me, Guti, last year, almost about this time, we were cooking with my mom on the show. And that just brought back another memories when you were talking about the fact that this is actually your mom's morojo recipe.
Definitely,
right?
not your mom.
It's my mom. It's your mom.
Yeah.
I feel like I just got a seat at that table. This is so delicious and truly does transport us back home. Hey, Pizzo?
Yeah, when you were there, right? Oh, I remember, yeah. So you're missing my cooking, actually. And my maga too. Yeah?
The flavors that are in this morojo, spinach. I mean, I'm from Durban. So I was so unfamiliar with the term morojo for the longest of time. Did not know what you were referring to because we just always said spinach.
Yeah.
Yabo ekaya. But this meal, definitely, the flavors are all the same throughout South Africa. I mean, Pizzo, when it comes to spinach and whipping it up the old school way, whether it's pap or even adding the chicken as Dumi is about to do, what does that remind you of?
Definitely reminds me of not Durban, like I said, but from my mother's house, you know, my mother's kitchen. It reminds me of that because of, I mean, not each and every household grew up eating moro. We call it moro, not moro, because moro is paid in it.
Moroho is, yeah, it's more of the Sotho nation. So the Sotho, Tswana, Eddie call it moroho.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, we call it moro in Tonga. Yeah. So, yeah, it reminds me of my mother's house. I mean, everything we did, we added like irama, everything from pap, spinach. You know, at some point we eat pap in moroho only without meat.
Yes, apparently that is extremely popular in Limpopo.
Yeah.
That you guys are just a spinach and pap eating nation. I love that.
Pap every day. not just one day. Rice only on a Sunday, but every day we cook.
And it's
pap
funny.
and spinach.
It's funny, Palesa, that Pizzo's talking about pap, because most times pap was seen as a thing that a woman must know how to cook for her family. But if papa got pizzo, whenever I go to Pizzo's restaurant and I sit there and eat, I think that's one thing I love about it. It brings back those memories. It brings back that nostalgia. Uti, you can even taste Uti Rama was added in there because of the creaminess of it. Yeah. It reminds me of how Umama used to make her morojo, how she used to make it papa like. And you remember she put in some of that savory pap the last time.
Yes.
So imagine a nice scoop of the rama into that as well. Just takes it to a whole other level flavor-wise.
Truly. And for myself, I mean, if I were to take myself down memory lane, chicken for me is something that was always on our plates growing up. And I would actually always eat the chicken first. I don't know, I always used to get a hiding because the chicken was meant for last. Make sure you eat everything first, your vegetables first, your starch first, and then your meat last. But I always started with my chicken. So I'm going to have a taste of this and let you know how close it is to the chicken I grew up eating. While
you do that, I'm going to put our chicken into the oven, sort of pizza.
So you grew up eating spinach and the meat. Yeah?
And I never used to eat my pap. I used to always give it to my brother.
Oh, okay. So, but what's for you? Pap, how in Devon, like how were you eating pap?
Exactly.
Like every day?
Funny enough how you made it. No. For us, funny enough, in Durban, it's less of an everyday thing. We normally have rice every day, Tigwin. But pap would save it for the braais. We'll save it for, you know, the outdoor dining when it's time to eat like this. So this truly, I think every single element of this dish, it can transport any South African to any memory.
Definitely. I mean, I had a friend of mine who were debating, Guti, he cannot have a meal without morojo. He cannot. Some people eat pap every day, and this used to be such an amazing thing for me to understand. A colleague of mine, his wife would cook pap every day, and he would say, I don't want pap ehlele. I need new fresh pap every day. Yeah. So in his kaftin, ufuni pap el pegwe that day.
Definitely.
The night
that's how we do it in Limpopo, obviously. Like, I mean, spinach, pap, now, ninya.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what I love about today is that we've got different personalities representing the different provinces in South Africa and how we're able to take each and every ingredient and element of this dish, bringing it together just to reminisce on those fond memories. Thank you so much, Pizzo.
Thank you.
Now, Rama is giving away another grocery voucher to the value of 800 Rand. To stand a chance of winning this week's competition, tell us what your go-to meal is that is nearing month end on the Afternoon Express Show Facebook or Twitter pages with the hashtag Rama Taste the Love. This week's competition closes at midday on Monday, the 1st of November. T's and C's do apply and can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za. And remember, Mzansi, every person who has entered and continues to enter this weekly competition with Rama goes into the grand prize draw, which is a 5,000 Rand travel voucher so that you can reunite and share a picnic with your loved one this spring. So I'm going to be looking forward to seeing everyone's entries. Go onto our pages and let us know what your go-to budget-friendly meal is. And whilst we are speaking about social media, let's keep the engagement going. Today's social media question is all about saving in the pockets. So we're making meals for under 200 Rand, and we want to find out what is your favorite budget-friendly dish. Remember to use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments. Now, samp is a firm favorite Mzansi ingredient that can be enjoyed with almost anything. So coming up, Chef Pizzo is going to be serving it up with a beefy stew. Wow, that is one of his signature dishes.
Yes.
welcome back to the show. Now it's time to colour your plate and your life with our next Plascon Chef Profile with Chef Dion Vengatas, where we will be making the most scrumptious lamb samosas that are perfect for those fake-away nights. And with it, you can also feed your entire family for under 200 Rand. Let's take a look.
I'm Dion Vengatas, chef and owner of Violet Private Chef. My main inspiration, becoming a chef was at the young, tender age of 4 years old. I remember sitting with my Oma Violet on the stoop and stamping masalas for her, cleaning green beans with her. And she was in her 80s at that time. So we literally just got infatuated by her passion at that tender age, and slowly but surely got the opportunity to take the subject on in high school. Was hotel keeping and catering or home economics. Wasn't the easiest thing to do, being the only boy among so many ladies. But yeah, that's what sort of got my passion ignited from that young age, was my great-grandmother and all the elderly ladies in my family. Food is everything to me. When it comes to sketching different, like an apple, or sketching different ingredients, or learning about new ingredients, traveling around the world and getting to taste foreign things that my palate has never experienced before, is life-changing to me. Food is my life. It's an obsession for me. I can't see myself doing anything else besides something that is involved in food. So food is literally my life and my everything. The number one thing I love about being a chef is, I have to say, the pressure, that intense sort of pressure that you get from running a busy service, or being able to prep for a function for about 100 people and you got a limited amount of time. Just being overwhelmed with so many tasks to do and to get done in such a short period of time. I love being overwhelmed and being sort of thrown into the deep end and swimming in those waters without a floater. It just brings the best out of me. And I think the second most important thing is having to eat. To be honest, I love eating. My favorite things to eat has to be the simplest things that I put together, those sort of homely dishes like tripe and trotters and sheephead, and the ingredients that we ate when we were young kids. And it's the cheapest ingredients, but how it was put together with passion and with love, and those are the things that really, really give me goosebumps when I eat them. Plascon challenged me to create a dish using one color, and it's the fakeaways theme. So I absolutely thought of using the color beige, like brown. So I thought of making a samosa and using its different shades from the raw pastry and through the process of cooking it, how it changes into those different shades of beige. Color is very important for me when I'm creating a dish. It starts from a very raw process, pen and pencil and a piece of paper, and I try to work with one ingredient and sort of take that one ingredient in its shade and take different colors off it. Samosa for me is very, very nostalgic to me, because it's one of the first things I learned how to make as a young kid, besides the masalas and stuff. One of the first difficult tasks that I was sort of assigned to from my Oma, and it took me a long time to master the art of folding it. So for me it was a massive challenge, or like an obstacle, a hurdle to overcome as that little young kid. So it was very important to me, because it was that first hurdle that I overcame as a young cook, or young chef, should I say so. Whenever I make a samosa, I'm like a beast. I'm like a samosa rolling machine. I can pump out 100 in a few minutes. And when I look back at that young kid that couldn't even make one in an hour, it's a big accomplishment for me. But it's also a very special moment for me when I do make a samosa, because it reminds me of my Oma as well. And that's very important to me, that food is attached to great special memories.
picture this. You are lying on a beach on an exotic island without a care in the world, listening to the calming sound of the ocean waves with warm sunshine on your face. Why? Because you've won the lotto. Now, if you've never tried your hand at the lotto before, well, you are in the right spot, because joining us to discuss how Lottoland works and the world of possibilities it affords you is the marketing director, Mareka Hayward. Mareka, thank you so much for being here. I mean, seeing you, speaking to you just makes me imagine all the things I've dreamt of, all the things I've imagined about winning the lotto and all the things it could do for me. And I know Lottoland has been blessing the nation by making dreams come true with their winnings and also helping South Africans in need. Do you want to just tell us more about that?
To me, so yes, we had a lot of winners this year, but more importantly, we started a TV show called Donkey Lottoland. We've been traveling the whole country with this green envelope. Let me just turn it around. With this green envelope, and we've been blessing people, like organizations in need, people in need, and there's so many people that are in need. And towards the end of the year, we have 39 episodes for this TV show. And we actually, if the total amount that we literally blessing the nation with is amounting to just over 16 million rand.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, we've been helping people to see, with cataract surgeries, people to walk with prosthesis and wheelchairs, safe houses for abused women and children, abandoned babies, children's homes. So the need is so big, and we've been fortunate to bless these people.
That sounds absolutely amazing. And I know it's been a crazy year for everyone, and it sure has been a busy year at Lottoland. I mean, what is new on the platform now?
So what we've started as well is Sportland. So now you can bet on your favorite sports. So that's quite exciting. And with that, there's a celebrity match called Box Up. So that is happening on the 6th of November. So it's Ross Learmonth, he's the lead singer of Prime Circle, and then Kevin Fraser, and they are going to have a boxing match. So can you imagine these two having a proper boxing match? So it's actually fantastic. So it's a virtual event, so people will be able to see it. They can get their tickets on iTickets. And we actually just running a promotion now. So if you go to sportland.co.za, register, and then place a bet on either Ross or Kevin, then you can get a free ticket, a virtual ticket to the show. So yeah, maybe you can have a bet on one of those two and win some money on your favorite.
Everyone has this question on their lips, and I think I do too. Have there been any big winners on Lottoland recently?
So we did. We had a few big winners, and the one lotto, and everybody's asking me every time, what lotto should I bet on? And it's the German lotto. So the German lotto has produced the most South African winners up to date, and I am holding thumbs for one South African to win either the US Mega Millions or US Powerball. We had about 2 weeks ago, the payout amount for the US Powerball was just over 10 billion rand.
No ways.
And so if one South African win that amount, that will be fantastic, because that amount comes from abroad and our economy will get enriched with 10 billion rand. So that is a hope that I've got.
Okay, I think I speak for all South Africans when I say that I want to get my hands on some of it. If it's not all of it, at least some of it. So maybe the question now is, how does one bet on Lottoland, and do you have any tips on your favorite lottery?
So you can go to lottoland.co.za, and then you can either bet on your favorite lotto or sports team. And then the tip would be definitely the German lotto. And then there was a survey done. They ask a quick pick or your own numbers. And the result is 50-50.
Really?
So yes. So if you place, for example, 10 bets, do 10 bets, do 5 bets with your own numbers, and then 5 bets quick picks. And then maybe you'll be our next winner.
Thank you so much, Mareka. I think you've given us a wealth of knowledge, and that is it, South Africa. Simple and easy. Turn your dreams into reality. It's simple and it's possible. Lottoland South Africa is a licensed bookmaker with Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. National Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Get Get an insurance quote for your home or car and stand a chance to win one of 8 Samsung Galaxy S21 phones plus 100 gigs of Standard Bank mobile data for a year. To enter, SMS the keyword motor to 31492 to get a callback and quote, and you could be a winner.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, Tumi girl, we're well on our way. We're making things budget-friendly, but absolutely yummy for our viewers.
Have you ever heard of walkie-talkies?
Yeah?
Those are next on our menu.
Oh, I'm so excited. Now, cooking on a budget always forces us to think outside of the box and make dishes that are not only going to give us more, but feed us more. We have another recipe that will pack lots of flavor and also still ensure that our whole family is full with our chicken feet and butternut combo. This sounds delicious.
Comfort zone again, you know. This is where I belong, you know. This is where I belong. So let me start. Guys, you said meals under $200, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not expensive, but it's labor intensive. That's what people, yeah, so they need to know. Let's start from here. So you can see this whole chicken feet, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
This, to clean it, you have to cut this part, you have to boil the water cleanness. Some people remove the nails, but I don't because I prefer it like that. So, but like let's move on
so
from that.
So I can see on your side. I just want us to a lot of people don't know. Like I've always been intimidated when it comes to cleaning the chicken foot, and a lot of people that have never tried it might not know what chef's talking about. So as you can see, when it's now prepared, the one I'm about to devour doesn't have the nails, and also can you see the palm is completely clean, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And on that same note, let me just go into that.
Okay, now, so my recipes are similar. All of them, you start with putting all the veggies inside, and then similar to my beef stew. So you put all the curry powders, my favorite ginger and garlic, and paprika as well. And also like some aromatic flavors as well inside. You know, and then now I put in the dish, like the special ingredient of them all. So now again.
Now, Chef, when people want to make these chicken feet at home for themselves, what do they need to look for in a chicken feet to make sure that it's fresh, first of all, and then they can cook with it? And then also, you did tell us about the cleaning part, but just to make sure that it's a fresh piece of chicken feet, you know, not stale or...
Look, I mean, chicken feet, most of them, like, I prefer them, like, you know, I grew up in an era where, like, each chicken was, like, was maybe like slaughtered the same day. Then you do it, but now you buy it from like these shops. So you just look for expiry date.
Oh, it's that easy.
Yeah.
Just turn the label upside down, look at the expiry dates, and that will tell you, South Africa, if it's fresh or not.
Yeah.
But a lot of people also, when it comes to creating amanqina, growing up, we used to call them amanqina, we called them walkie-talkies. It's so delicious. The flavors are really simplistic. There's no intensive depth of flavor here. It's pretty much how you would normally season meat. But I can only imagine that there's also special times that because this is pretty much cartilage and bone. So how long would one have to pay attention to amanqina for them to be soft and succulent? Because when I bit into that, it truly fell apart. I didn't have to fight with the chicken foot. This is exactly how I grew up enjoying it.
It doesn't take long. It takes about like 15 to 20 minutes, 15 to 25 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, so, but if you get the younger chicken, obviously, like, if you get like the older chicken as well, it's still gonna take long. The older they are, the harder they are to cook.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the younger, the fresher the food, the fresher the meat,
Yeah.
the quicker it is, and then the older the chicken, the longer it takes.
But you just mentioned walkie-talkies. This is not walkie-talkies. It's walkie-talkies if there's a head.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not only are we walking, we have to make sure you talk, which means we have to have you back out to make a smiley, basically not wasting any piece of the chicken.
So this is the talkies, the walkie part of the talkies.
Okay, understood. So it means, like you said, Pastor, we have to make the talkie part at some point. But call them chicken runaways. It's completely up to you.
Runaways, yes.
And with the butternut dumi, it looks delicious already.
It's very simple. I think everyone has got their own way of doing it. And this simple recipe today just has some of our fat spread. We've also got some sugar in there, cinnamon. If you want to add more flavors, you're more than welcome to do that. Like add some nutmeg, add some fresh herbs. It's completely up to you.
Well, if you are good to go with this budget-friendly recipe, please do head over to afternoonexpress.co.za for the full ingredients list and start saving right now. Now it's time for the first of two tasty desserts as we're making vanilla and cinnamon custard dumplings when we return. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. Now, why I'm in such a good mood, honey, is because we are saving. And you know, as soon as it's all about saving money, I get excited, Dumi.
Exactly. I feel you, Pali. It's all about saving those pennies, and that's what we are here for.
Absolutely. Well, whilst the energy is still buzzing here in the kitchen, Mzansi, here is a fabulous recipe that you can prepare in just 10 minutes. A creamy custard dumplings have an enticing vanilla and cinnamon flavor that make this a please can I have some more dessert. Now, Chef, you don't have a sweet tooth.
This is not my comfort zone. This is not my comfort zone. But yeah, I love dessert, but I don't like making it as well.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a combination of a lot of things. But I don't know where to start with this one. I don't know where to start.
Well, that's why we have Dumi here to talk us through exactly how to whip this up.
If you are a South African that loves milk tart, you will love this because it is milk tart without the fussiness of that crust on the outside. If you want just the filling, this is exactly how we do it. And it's very simple, Pali. Very delicious, very tasty. And it starts off with our clover fresh milk, which I've started heating up in a pot here. And then into that, I'm adding a half a cup more of our clover fresh milk.
I mean, keeping it stays fresh for up to 18 days, right? Because of that triple protect. So this is quite perfect for almost any recipe.
Or any recipe, any day. If you want to also make little mini ones for the people in your family, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to make the big ones that we're making today, then this is exactly where it comes in. So I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. Pizzo, I know you're not a sweet tooth guy. You've said this.
I'm stealing a recipe, as you see. Maybe I'm going to introduce this at my restaurant. You never know.
Maybe. And the thing is, because South Africans love their milk tart, you might just get more people coming in there because they think to themselves, Kuti, not only is Pizzo doing the traditional beef dishes and all of that, he's also making our milk tart that we all love.
As long as it's South African.
As long as it's South African.
Yeah.
Now, this just looks very difficult. I mean, the way that this comes together, it's an art piece on its own, really. I have never imagined trying a milk tart without that crust, but this looks divine. I love the custardy texture.
I love that you enjoy it, Pali.
Oh, wow.
Sabawel.
And it's not too sweet. This is also iconic. It's not too sweet. So
Really?
how do we make sure that this comes out like this?
We can't share a spoon, well. Yeah, but yeah.
Into our
I feel
milk
like I want to try it on as well.
All right, so into our milk that's been warmed up, because you need to make sure that it's warm, we've added our vanilla essence, and into that I'm adding my sugar as well, and all I'm going to do is let that sugar dissolve while I get through the rest of the recipe. It's also very simple. Our cornstarch mixer here, all I'm going to add now is our eggs, which you add one at a time and just break in, and then once you've broken it into the mixture, we're then going to temper this mixture with the hot milk that we have, and then like how you make a custard, actually, like how you'd normally make a custard, more like a creme pat because it's a little bit on the thicker side. And I'm just going to keep adding our eggs, and then once we've added them, we transfer this mixture into our pot over here.
It looks easy.
Very easy, very simple, very tasty. It's a very nice trick if you want to impress the ladies, if you want to impress the gents. Dinner in, it's a very nice recipe to do that with.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Chef, on Chef Pizzo's station, Dumi, what elements from your dish are now mirrored here, and what will you have him doing?
All right, so let's say we've made this dessert of ours. It's now cooked down like I'm about to cook it. In fact, let me do that while I speak to you about it.
Yeah.
So I'm putting the egg mixture into our pot here, and what it's going to do, it's going to cook down and thicken to that consistency that Pizzo has over there. Now, as you can see, it's thickened up. It's a nice creme-packed texture, but we also want it to be light and flaky, light and fluffy, but we don't want it to be too heavy, and that's why we've got the addition of our meringue.
Wow.
How long does it take to do it?
It should take about 10-15 minutes because you just want it to thicken up. Some people rush it because they want it to go too quickly, but don't worry about that, Chef. You can actually start folding in our meringue into that custard mixture that you've got there.
So which one do I use?
So start with the white part. It shows that Chef is not a sweet tooth guy.
No. Oh, so you mix it like this?
Just a little bit at a time.
So just a little bit at a time, and then you'll just fold it into the mixture.
Correct. And just fold it together.
So bring around. See, even I know. Look at me teaching. Who's got the masterclass down now? So you're just going to keep going around and folding it in.
Correct.
Around and folding it in.
Then you can add a bit more.
Chef. What's popular, Chef? Okay.
Now you're the chef. You're the chef now.
A little bit more.
Perfect.
So, Dumi, essentially, as we keep folding this mixture in, the meringue and the whippedness of it, we're whipping it into the custard. And essentially, once it's formed together, how then does it need to stand? Does it go for it to look like this?
Yeah. All we're going to do, Chef, you can actually go as heavy-handed as you can now. Just fold it all together.
Okay, not they. You never know with this.
While Chef is doing that, Bali, can I ask you to sprinkle half of that cinnamon sugar onto our plate there, that orange plate that you've got. So half of it, just like a nice thick layer. And then you can stop spooning in that mixture over those that sugar that you've got there. So a spoon each. Yes.
Just like
one
this.
spoon it onto there. And then you just keep spooning it like that. And then the last part is to add the remaining cinnamon sugar on top. And that's the mixture right there. The only thing that you need to keep note of is the custard. Once it's in this pot, do not stop stirring. Otherwise, you're going to get those lumpy lumps, and we don't want that.
Okay.
That's why I've been stirring this entire time we've been talking.
Now I'm jealous.
Chef,
I'm jealous because now you're taking my job, you know?
No, hold it, take it. And then grab this.
Okay.
And then you continue to add that excellence, making it so delicious, so creamy, and I'm very much looking forward to enjoying the rest of it. Head over to afternoonexpress.co.za if you want this recipe.
I'll go. I want to music.
Oh, he's back.
Move way.
Clover fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover.
Winning a giant sum of money could open up a world of possibilities, from a new house to a giant charity donation. It's hard to imagine what you'd do first if you won the lottery, but you better start deciding. Did you know that on Lottoland.co.za, you have the chance to win millions? The Euro Millions could turn you into a multi-millionaire. The draw will take place tonight at 8 p.m. South African time. Put your lucky numbers to the test and place your bets now on Lottoland.co.za. Lottoland South Africa is a licensed bookmaker with the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. National Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
We feel that serving the community is very important. We are there for our community, but we're also there because of our community. So our success is because of our community, and so we are willing to do the best and go miles for the community. I feel like my team and myself are brave. We look at our customers not as customers, as family members, as friends. And once we see them, we value them being healthy. And once we value them being healthy, we're able to cross any obstacles or anything that might come in our way in order to maintain that they are healthy. So our willingness to provide a service and our eagerness to do as much as we can for the community allows us to step forward, put on a brave face, put on a smiley face, and be that person who's almost selfless. Not just myself, but I feel my entire team has stepped up in terms of going through this time of whether it's pain, grief, suffering, but also keeping positive and knowing that it will come to an end and whatever someone is going through will get better. However, they themselves are brave and courageous, and they step up in order to provide the service to the community.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
back to the show. Now, Chef Pizzo, you already tried one dessert. I think you did relatively well. Are you ready for this next one?
I'm not ready, but I will do it.
Well, we're making something that, trust me, I'm pretty sure you're gonna love.
I think this one is easy because I'm only making the sauce.
Exactly. I mean, we're making an iconic South African dessert. Yep, you guessed it, malva pudding. But we're going to add an extra little flavor with some scrumptious apricots. Now, this one is double delicious and will feed a crowd of 6 to 8 people. Now, we've got some big families, Dumi Mzansi, and we normally have our cousins, our nieces, and our nephews. So this dessert is good for everyone.
We're all about family. Whenever we eat together, whenever we eat, in fact, we eat together. We try to make sure that all our dishes, or most of our dishes, are sharing dishes.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing that I love, is dessert. So if I can make a dessert that is below 200 that I can share with my family, then you've definitely got me. I'm one over there. And to start it off, all I've got here is I'm creaming together my sugar and my eggs. All you need to do here, you want to get it a little bit light and fluffy, just like you do with normal baking. So I'm going to keep fluffing away while Chef does the sauce. Like he said, he's bringing the sauce today.
Yeah, and you know what I like about this is just there's no method of it. So you can just hoy in anything you want, but you can start with the lukewarm water here.
Okay.
Some milk, butter, and some brown sugar.
Perfect.
Yeah, but there's no method. You can put it anyhow.
Yeah, that is correct. When it comes to the sauce, it's just about adding it there. And I see you're also about to add some flavor.
Absolutely. What I love about malva pudding is just how versatile it is. You're able to enjoy it with a little bit of everything. A lot of South Africans love to have it with custard, but today we're enjoying it with Clover Classic Dairy Snack. I mean, it's deliciously smooth and creamy dairy snack made according to Clover's unique recipe. It's essentially a source of 10 vitamins, and today we've got the big baby. We've got the 1 kg, but I mean, you can go with the 100 grams, the 6-pack, the 175 grams, or the 500 grams if you like.
While Pali takes a nice big scoop, I'm not adding the
I think
dry.
you need to.
What do you say?
No, I think she must bring 2 spoons, man. Next time.
Oh, sharing is caring. You are right. You are very
Yeah.
right, Pizzo. Now, into the rest of this, I've added some flour, I've added some baking powder and a bit of salt. And then I'm going to be adding some other ingredients, which include our vinegar and our bicarb. And to show you the reason why we use bicarb, it's an agent, and it does this. It's supposed to bubble away. If it does this, then you know that your bicarb is definitely fresh, because we need that for it to work together with the vinegar, for it to give you that rising agent in our malva that we're supposed to make. So in there, I go in with my vinegar, I go in with my bicarb, and then my apricot jam, because we're making an apricot malva pudding with some pieces of apricot in there, and then a little bit of milk, and then we're going to whisk these babies together and make our batter. And then that sauce that you've made over there, sir, is going to go. In fact, let me give you the honors while I make the rest of this.
Now, essentially, Dumi has given us the classic recipe, something simple that everyone can come up with to create this delicious sponge of the malva pudding. Now, malva pudding is not a malva pudding, honey, without that iconic sauce. Now, I can see that Chef has already put a fork on top of it.
Yeah.
And do you mind if I steal the...
You can.
I'm going to steal the responsibility here of making sure that the sauce goes all the way through that sponge.
I'm not trusting my sauce. That's the thing.
And by doing so, I just need to fork. I mean, I'm using a fork today, but you can use, even if it's a toothpick, you can use a skewer, anything that can poke holes into the bottom of that sponge, because essentially, as soon as Chef's sauce is all the way cooked out and the flavors have come together, he's going to be able to pour over the sauce to truly go into each and every groove, each and every hole that we've created within that malva sponge. And that's how we're able to make it as soft, decadent, and moist. I mean, I love a good moist malva pudding, and this is what it's all about. We have elevated it and made it more creamy by adding the Clover Dairy Snack, but I mean, you're able to do it as you like. Yeah. And what I like about what you're doing, Dumi, is that you're actually physically adding apricots. I mean, whether they're in season, you can add fresh apricots, but today you've got tinned ones.
Yeah, we're using the tinned ones today, and the lovely thing is we keep talking about it being an apricot flavor. We've got the apricot in our sponge, and we've also got the apricot Clover Classic Dairy Snack that you've added added on top of it. So it's all about those flavors. The combos are communicating. While you're doing that, heads up to the viewers, this bakes in the oven at 180 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes, and you've got yourself malva pudding.
And just before we move on, Dumi, how long can we, before we cut into it after the sauce has gone in? Do we leave it to rest?
As long as you no longer see the sauce on top, then you know it's time. Because as long as there's still some sauce on the day, it's not time to cut in yet.
Alrighty, well, if you want to get your hands on this incredible recipe, thank you so much to our chef. Please do head over to afternoonexpress.co.za.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
I am hungry, honey. The chef's aprons are down. That means it's time to eat. We have indeed reached my favorite part of the show, where we get to indulge in all of the wonderful budget-friendly meals that we've made, and now we have the privilege of enjoying. Thank you so much, Chef Pizzo, for talking us through it.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, Dumi, do you want to give us a little recap of what we cooked?
Definitely. In South Africa, you better pay attention because I'm going to go quick. I want to eat now. We started off with our chicken that was served with our morojo and pap. And then we went to the, not walkie-talkies, but runaways, apparently.
Yeah.
Chicken feet with some butternut. And then 2 desserts. Not 1, but 2.
Yes.
You've got our cloakies, which I've been told and corrected a couple of times. It's cloakies. And then we've also got our apricot malva pudding, which I am dying to try. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Like Palisa would say, let's eat South Africa.
Yeah, let's eat. Oh, yes, let's eat. See, I'm so excited. I'm just chowing away. I wanted to actually see that, you know, the difference here, the color, the layers that Dumi created with this malva pudding before I put it in my bowl, because that is essentially what makes today's malva pudding different.
The flavors of the apricot, and also we've got the apricot jam, so you know that you can flavor it with anything. It's completely up to you. If you want to make a berry-flavored malva pudding, you're more than welcome to do that as well. It's all about being creative in the kitchen.
Sounds absolutely delicious. I mean, Chef, we've been asking our viewers on social media from the top of the show, what is their go-to budget-friendly meal? It's month end, you have about 200 Rand in your pocket. What would it be?
You're looking at it. Chicken feet and pap.
Really?
Chicken feet and pap and morojo. That's me.
All day, every day.
Every day.
I love that. And for you too?
Mine is probably the cheapest and the most economical because it is isinkwa, ne peanut butter, ne jam.
Oh, girl, easy.
Easy.
That's 15 bucks.
You almost sounded like my father. Ubaba, trust me, peanut butter is his thing, and he just asked for a sandwich and he is good to go. For myself, it's probably similar to Chef. You know, I love a quick and easy pasta. I mean, pasta is relatively affordable. Just get a nice, you know, cheese and
mac and cheese.
Thank you. I'm like that classic one that everyone likes, mac and cheese. Mac and cheese for me is my go-to. Under 200, a little goes a long way. How are we loving the food?
It is delicious. I am loving the beef.
I'm loving this, and trust me, I'm going to make it myself now.
Okay.
And that's coming from someone who doesn't have a sweet tooth, so you heard it here first. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Chef Pizzo. It's always such a pleasure. And Dumi girl, rocking the hair, love the hair, coming with the fresh vibes. See you again on Thursday.
Thank you. See you then, baby.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah. Now, we hope that we have helped you identify where you can save money when it comes to family grocery shopping. Join us again for even more tips, rather, on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. as we are joined in the kitchen by singer Chiano Sky. But until then, Mzansi City, good night, stay safe, and happy eating. Goodbye. Nothing beats being free. For breakfast with the team, family brunches, or having the crowd around for life as it used to be. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.